So you're our expert in marketing, digital stuff like that, but you're also an expert for Experts versus Corona because you work in a huge worldwide acting company. But how did Corona affect your personal life and your work experience in the last few weeks?
Well, at the beginning was kind of funny because you can imagine that I grew up talking about Corona, being a Mexican, right? But also from work-wise and now trying to be serious. I think it's redefining the way we work in many ways. And all those ideas we have for work from home, digitalization of the way we reach customers, I think has completely changed. And all those plans have been brought forward in a way that I believe it can have a lot of upsides and positives if we are, have the right attitude and approach, right, to take this opportunity.
Where do you see the chances or advances in this crisis?
Well, I believe every time you have you change the rules of something, there's a chance for the people who are much more creative and positive to start off complaining of the past, comparing what is not anymore, and start focusing on the future and what can be there to redefine and use that creativity that I was talking on the beginning. I think that's just what we're asking for every time, right? So now we have new rules, and now is our chance to, within those new rules, instead of complaining or instead of trying to see all the challenges we have, which are enormous, to try to be part of them and try to manage them in the way that we can push forward on what are our interests, not only as a company, of course, but also as a person. I think you can see it's a much more holistic situation that we have in our hands, that if we see the glass half full, we can really benefit in all kind of aspects of our life. As I say, working and professional.
What are those new rules we all have to follow, either in our personal life or in the working life you just mentioned?
I just hope I knew. I have absolutely no clue what are the rules. They've been greeting every day when we wake up in the morning. But I have to say that clearly I can tell you what is some of the things I'm expecting to be different. Certainly, we're going to be working much more from home. Certainly, all those places that have a lot of gathering of people, that's going to change. Traveling is going to change a lot. All that, I believe you and I have heard many times already on the news. So that's nothing, let's say, interesting or different than we have heard before. I believe a big change will come on the adaptability of us as individuals into the new way we interact with other humans in all the different levels, not only work, but also personally. And the ones who are going first, who see it as a positive and feel full of opportunities, I think we're going to be profiting from that. When I say profiting, I'm not referring of money. I'm referring about being more, enjoying more what we do. And I believe maybe I will be so probably absolutist saying that maybe we're going to be out better in general, right?
Do we have to be open for the changes that happen right now?
So do we have any chance?
I don't think so.
I think this is it. I mean, we can continue complaining or comparing stuff, and that nothing is going to make a difference. What is going to make a difference is our attitude. And the faster we adapt is going to be the better. And I tell you what, being a Latin in a country such as Germany or the all Europe, where things are a little bit more slow to take into new challenges and new opportunity, I can tell you that I can see that this is going to be a very fascinating way for such a country or such a continent as Europe to start leading the agenda.
And how do you see what's going on in your home country?
Well, my home country clearly has a lot of challenges at the moment, right? Because of the health infrastructure that cannot be compared to what we are very lucky to have in Europe. And we are there a little bit behind Europe in terms of how this situation is being evolving.
We saw each other a few days ago, and you said Corona crisis or this home office stuff is a huge chance or has a huge impact on women in companies. Why do you think so? Because we read in newspapers, in German newspapers, it only affects women because they stay at home, teach the kids, do the household, whatever. So I think there is a negative impact on women.
Well, that's a very good question. Thanks for asking it. When I was talking to you in person the other day, I was just thinking of all these things, right? I believe women are, in general, specifically in Europe, are in a very good opportunity right now because of what I said before of having new rules, setting new rules, and stepping up to the challenges that are coming ahead. And I believe the differences between men and women, I think women are going to be in a pole position to profit on that. You know, I believe women are much better than men in multitasking, for example, right? And we are just focused on something. Women can be focused on the video conference, taking care of the kids, etc. We as men need to catch up with all that. And I think if you talk to other men that are working from home, we start to get a lot of not only develop those skills, but also start to recognize much more what women do, and that sometimes we don't have the chance to see. So in that sense, I believe that this is a great opportunity because with the new rules that we have at the moment, all the women or females workers, like my colleagues I have at the office, if they see this as an opportunity, they're going to be able to probably step up and gain more. Women should use this opportunity somehow to get a parity level better against or with men in a much better position than what it is at the moment.
We'll see what this is going to lead for.
No. Let me stop you there. I don't think it's about where this is going to take us like it was a river. I think it's about you. It's about me. Because if we see this as a big group, maybe nothing's going to happen and we're not going to see it. But it's much more of our own agenda or the things that are in our hands, the ones that we feel responsible to make the step forward. Because if we leave it in the hands of others, like a big group or like a river that is just going down the sea, probably nothing's going to happen. But if you take that commitment with you and with me to make the change and be the change we want to be, as Gandhi used to say, I think that's going to make a difference. And I think that's what I encourage you to think of. What are you going to do different after we finish this teleconference?
The digitalization, is this the future, working digital, or is it the mixture of everything? Seeing you a virtual space or meeting you in a conference room somewhere in the world? What's the best?
Well, let me say first that I haven't seen anything new on digital area. I think everything that we're working, like this video conference and the different tools I use at work every day, they're at least 3 to 4 years old. Nothing is new. I think what has changed is that we are now bringing them forward because we have no other chance. So basically it was like, now you become digital or you start working from home, yes or yes. And as I said before, it has some negatives and it has some positives. And I believe some people, myself included, I don't want to go back to how it was before. I think this new normality, if I can call it like that, is bringing lots of opportunity to have a better life balance. And ultimately, if we know how to do that, we'll probably be more satisfied and happy as a person.
How does this new digital work of life impact your event and marketing work?
Specifically in marketing, clearly, we are now shifting much more attention to all those ways to remotely reach our customers and add value compared to what the competition is doing in order to get our message across so they can prefer our products. And that's what we're working a lot at the moment. I think today I have already many video conferences and teleconferences to discuss about it. In events specifically, it's a very interesting area and one that I'm really looking forward to working more and more, which is a mix of being in person, but to try to replicate something that we did before in a way that now has to be done somehow differently. And I have to tell you that I'm very optimistic for the first results that I have seen on how to organize a virtual meeting with our customers, how we have discussion with our other colleagues about situations that in the past would have been, unimaginable, that thing to get it work. So yeah, it's happening, and I believe we're just at the beginning. What I foresee coming in the next couple of months, next year, is going to be accelerate even further the utilization of virtual reality, the utilization of much more of interactions becoming a normal way, right? Not only when you are at home, but also when you're outside, not only working when you are from, let's say, 8 to 5, what happens after 5, what happens on the weekend, and this omnipresence, right? That you can be reached at any time, but different media, I think, started with your phone in your pocket, becoming an appendix of you, and now it's moving out pretty much to everywhere. And if you remember at the beginning what I said, I believe lots of people are complaining that, man, I only work until 5, and you call me at 5:30. And at the moment, which I understand for some people, but some other people, including myself, I like to be working after 5, but I also like to do some personal stuff at 12. So when you think the trade-off, and when we think that, what are we working for, and why are we part of a company for? Is it only to make money? Is it to develop our skills, to grow as a person? If we know what that is for, and we understand that digital has come, if we are smart enough to make that better, I think that the chances are just exponentially grown in the last few months with the current situation we have at the moment.
If you would write a book right now with your experiences in organizing events and marketing stuff, as you just said, you do the organizing in hundreds of phone calls with the hundreds of people. Which 5, let's say, advices would you give a younger coworker in this situation with the Corona crisis in your mind?
I don't know, 5. You're not too many.
Okay, let's say 3.
Okay, that's a good discount. Thanks for the rebate. Let me think about it, because I don't want to say the first thing I get into my mind. But I think. So number one, I will say that digitalization has given you power because have leveled the field. People who might be super fantastic, but they're not very well boarding all this new technology. If you're a young person in their 20s, now you got the chance to leverage that. And that's just good news. I wish I could do that when I was 20. When I was sending faxes and trying to meet people in person in order to that. Number 2, because you're not meeting people in person, you need to keep developing your skills for human interaction, right? I think we undervalue the importance of face-to-face meeting for important things. So in the past, we were meeting for everything in person. And then if you go back to, let's say, the Nordic countries and the Latin countries, please allow me to use the cliches of stereotypes for the sake of the example. I'm not necessarily think like this. I'm just going to use it for example, right? I want to be politically correct here.
It's okay.
I think the Nordic countries will probably don't need so much time, so much face-to-face interaction and an expression and move of the shoulder. That will be enough of the message. While Latins, we need to come, give a kiss, give a hug, talk about family, talk about football, religion, rock and roll, and everything they put in between. I think probably the truth is not in the middle, and it's not a geographical line. The middle is going to be Germany or something like that. I wanted to say that I think it's important that we value that we're going to be much more present through digital technology, but the important things will continue to be in real life. And for that, you will need to develop the skills of face-to-face communications, which, by the way, for the people I meet, the younger people I meet, they really need to do a lot of work. So fantastic on digital stuff, social media, and all gaming and all those things, horrible in personal interactions, right? I think we need to balance that out. Digitalization is good, but it's not everything. There are more important things, because at the end of the day, we're still humans, right?
And the third one?
Man, the third one, that's a tough one. I don't know which one to say. I think the third one is that I think we need to use attitude and to see this as an opportunity, as I said before. It's about how you take the challenges, what's your attitude, and how you transmit the energy and the willingness to go the extra mile. That mix of being intelligent, on being a hard worker. It's very important, but nowadays, being what it's called emotionally intelligent has become much more important than before. Because in the past, anybody could have only the skills of working the whole time from 6 in the morning to 10 in the night. Or everybody could be fantastic resolving a third grade algebraic equation. But now also we need to know how to be empathic, how to engage with other people in digital platforms. And for that, it's very important that we focus much more, not only on the opportunities and the challenges, but also to know that we need to develop the emotional intelligence to be that a way that we excel in this new environment. Would that work?
As I just said, behind the José Aispuro marketing expert, there's a person. What do you learn personally for you and your family from this crisis?
Well, I have 2 kids, and I have to tell you, I think a lot that when I grew up, my father was not as present as I'm being forced to be with my kids now, right? And I'm thinking, now that as a father, I'm spending so much time with my kids, what image am I giving to them, right? How is that I work? How is that I'm organized? What are those values that I believe are important to my kids? Am I transmitting them in my day-to-day when they can see me on my day-to-day? When I wake up, what kind of, how I treat other people on the camera, on the phone, how do I do some exercise, how much I learn, study, how much you see me on the TV, how many drinks I have from time to time when I get after hours, when I want to relax. So these kind of interactions, I think, is a very important self-contained environment where more than ever before, I'm asking myself, am I being a good example for my kids now that I can see me 24/7, which has never happened before, and probably will be hard to happen in the future too.
What's the conclusion from our talk right now you'll take, and from this whole strange, surreal situation we're in?
That I love it. I love when people change the cards on the table, and then you have all new sets of cards, and you can play them with experience you have now that you didn't have in the past. What a great opportunity we have. Let's play. No, let's win.